How much money would a... but probably not enough. I don't think I've ever ridden one of these. Are you sponsored? Does this mean YouTube is going to pay you to ride now? I'm kicking things off here on the beautiful 2020 Sherco 300 factory trials bike. And the first question is, how did you get into trials? I got into trials through my dad, who would take us to the events when we were younger and didn't really know what it was. He'd just be gone for most of the day and we would hang out in the pits. But when I was 8 or 9, I would guess, we had a trials bicycle laying around and I started riding that. Still didn't know what trials was, just kind of knew it was a bike to ride over rocks and stuff with, so I started doing that and having fun with it. But it wasn't until I was 10 I got a trials bike for my birthday. Then I started to actually learn about it, figure out what it was about, and really liking it, so I stuck with it from there. Are you sponsored? Because you should be. Well, thanks. I'm glad you feel that way. I am sponsored, mostly on the motorcycle side of things, for the Factory One Motor Trials team. That's who I ride for, and we're supported by some awesome brands like Ryan Young Products. They've been behind me for a very long time, and Sherco USA. Been riding Sherco for as long as I can remember, and also True PSI, who really stepped it up recently and supported myself and made a lot of the videos possible on this channel. So if you want to see more videos and want to support the companies that support the riders, then be on the lookout for True PSI tire gauges. How much money would a professional trials rider hope to make in the US compared to a pro in Europe? That is a good question that I don't really have an answer to. I would say if you're successful in Europe, you have the chance at making a lot more money, but you probably have to be in the top 5 to be making really good money. And in the US, there are opportunities to make money. There's a pro purse at nationals, I believe 500, 300, 200, and then with the super trial that has a $1,500 pro winning bonus, followed by 1,000, 750, 500, and on down the line. Then they also have an overall purse for the series. With that series expanding next year, there will be more opportunities for riders to make money there. And it's tough to make much of in terms of a salary in the US from a manufacturer, but you can make a little bit if you do things right. And if you're lucky, you can focus on riding trials for a long time. But I really don't know what those Europeans make. Hopefully a lot, but probably not enough. There are also other ways to make money besides competitions in the States through doing shows, schools, and doing other work for companies within the industry. You can make ends meet, so to say. What skills do you think are the most important fundamentals for trials riding that should be practiced daily? Hannah's going to help me out with this one. The most beneficial fundamental is balance. You can practice this anywhere, anytime, bike running, bike not running, Kickstarter out or in, and you really can't have too good of balance. If you want to air your tire up way high, it'll be much harder, and you'll learn a lot quicker. When you get into sections, it'll be a lot easier. And then after that, if you want to show us some figure eights, this is another thing that can be practiced anywhere, just about any time. And it can be practiced on a bicycle or a motorcycle, no matter what you're doing. Tight turns and balance are very essential, and you don't need much space. You You don't need any obstacles. It's the perfect thing you can work on at any time. Go as slow as you can, turn as tight as you can. And then if you're a little more advanced, hopping is another thing that will really help you out in the sections in trials riding. So that's the next step. But besides that, it's pretty endless, as every technique you can be better and better at. You can learn and improve, so there's no fundamentals that you have to do every single time, but there's a good place to start with balance, turning, hopping, and whatever obstacles you have, just ride. All right, now I'm on Sherco Enduro bike, and I don't think I've ever ridden one of these in the snow before. Ooh, there's not much snow, but still makes it pretty slick. Might as well answer some questions, huh? Does this mean YouTube is going to pay you to ride now? Well, not exactly. While you can make money once you hit 1,000 subscribers, it's very little unless you're getting crazy amounts of views or run a lot of ads or something like that, or getting paid some other way. So while I do make a little bit of money doing these, it's hardly much at all at the moment. But I try to put it back into camera gear and stuff like that to keep them going. It's really more thanks to the sponsors that I'm able to do these, and I enjoy doing it for the most part, so hopefully I can find ways to keep them going. I have about 50% range of motion in my right wrist. Because I am unable to get maximum RPMs with the throttle, what techniques can I practice? Well, I think you can practice every technique. You just might have to change your specific technique slightly. So a lot of trials moves, you really aren't giving it full throttle. Unless you're doing a huge wall, a big splatter or something, then you need full throttle. But you can get pretty high RPM without actually going to the stop. Oh, that's slick. And if you do need more, maybe instead of moving your wrist like that, you drop your elbow down instead. So you're adjusting the technique, but you can still do it. And actually a lot of, well, not a lot, but some motocrossers with wrist injuries end up having to change their style a little bit, but they're still just as fast as ever. So I don't think it should stop you from trying to get as good as you can. All right, back to the bicycle now, I guess. I should also answer the question, are you sponsored? On the bicycle side of things, I answered it earlier when I was on the motorcycle, but I didn't bring up the bicycle support system, so I'll go over that real quick. I'm riding a Fatback here, and I've been riding for them for a few years now. Love the bikes, love the support they give me, and yeah, I had a blast exploring everywhere I can with these bikes. And then got P&W components. They make dropper posts, handlebars, stems, grips, and they're looking to expand in the future. You can also use the code Smage10 to save on some great components there. Then we got grip studs. You can see in the tires here, I've got some little studs. They really hook up on the ice and can save you from washing out in the winter time. Then we got Manitou. Love this fat bike fork. It's the best one I've used. Much stiffer and just a much better feel than some of the other ones. And Hayes brakes. A really nice pull on these brakes and really nice modulation to be able to control those trials moves. And then on the trail, when you just want to feather it, they're really controllable. Really like those. Those are the companies I've been running this year, and really appreciate their support and hope to grow in the future.